Well, I know the human body is pretty miraculous, but there are also some weird things about it. Like, take dreams. So, what are dreams made of?
There's like
What are dreams made of? A famous question. What are dreams made of? Tell you what,
we did read a very good book, by the way.
It's an excellent
on
book.
sleep.
Why
We Sleep by Dr. Matthew Walker. Read it.
Read it and change your life.
Yeah,
honestly,
it's incredible.
It's all going on in your brain.
Yeah.
So your little dreams are all happening in your brain. And do you know how your brain works?
I mean, like, basically, yeah.
So there's lots of electrical pulses and signals going on across trillions of effectively circuits that make your brain. And dreaming is part of that, but there's some really interesting stuff your body does when you dream. Really clever stuff. So, can you remember your last dream?
No.
You can't. Can you remember the one before it? Can you remember any dream you've ever had?
Yeah.
So what were you doing in your dream?
I was falling.
Falling?
No, that's a very,
dream.
yeah. That's a very common one.
And did you land?
I woke up before I
So before you land, it's always what happens, right?
Yeah.
The dream of like falling, and you wake up and you try to grab something.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It's called a myotonic jerk. Isn't it like, it's kind of, what does the book say? It says it's like sensory processing.
Yeah.
And it's trying to make all these connections, trying to store your memories into things that make it easier for you to recall.
Yeah, it's going from short-term memory to long-term memory.
Yeah, and the short-term memory to long-term memory. And as this is happening, so it's also very, very visual, right? That's why you see things, even though your eyes are closed. So even though your eyes are closed and there's no light coming into your eyes, the part of your brain that does... that makes sense of whatever it is you're seeing is being stimulated. So you actually are seeing things that are in your dream, right? And just so that you don't act it out, right? Well, your body kind of puts you into paralysis where you can't control your muscles, because it'd be terrible if, and it does happen with like sleepwalking and things, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it'd be terrible if you were walking around acting out your dreams, kicking people, and I don't know what you do in your dreams, right? Or trying to, it could be very dangerous. So that's why your body shuts it down.
Full paralysis.
Yeah.
So when you're dreaming, or if you saw someone asleep and they were dreaming, they will not be moving at all. Yeah. So their muscles, it's as relaxed as your muscles are ever going to be. So your body doesn't let them move. So you can dream you're having this amazing experience and you're running and you're winning the Olympics, all my dreams. But your body doesn't respond to that, because if it did, it would cause major problems. And that allows your brain to develop. So one of the reasons that you're as smart as you are is because you have that dream sleep. And it's both. So you have dream sleep and deep sleep. And they're equally important. It's not that the deep sleep is to recover and get your rest, and then the dream sleep is just the cool bit that you have at the end where you have lots of dreams. They're both equally important for your development.
And you keep cycling through them. So it's not like the first 4 hours you're asleep, it's just deep sleep, and then the second 4 hours it's dream sleep. It's like 90-minute cycles?
Yeah, there's a weighting. You do more deep sleep
at the start
and more dream sleep towards the end, which is why you'll often wake up in the morning. I'm sort of kind of speaking from me now, but now I try and get a little bit more sleep. If I wake up after, say, 7 hours of sleep, there's a very, very good chance that when I wake up, I was dreaming, and then I instantly try and cling to what it was, and it drifts away, and I can't remember. So you'll regularly wake up in a dream, because you're more likely in that second half to be dreaming.
Yeah.
But all it is the same as what's happening now. It's lots of little signals and flying across your brain.
And trying to make sense of everything, right? Like processing all that information, storing it in the right places so that it can be used later. It also boosts creativity, right?
Problem solving.
So one of the things is like, say that you're stuck on a really hard problem, right? And there's this thing that people say, oh, why don't you just sleep on it? There is some wisdom to that, because when you go to sleep and you have a nice full night of sleep with plenty of like dream sleep as well, because your brain is making all of these connections that you wouldn't logically make yourself while you're awake. It helps you solve. It's like you're thinking out of the box, pretty much literally, right there, figuratively, literally, and you're coming up with new novel solutions to these problems. So that's why a good night's sleep helps you solve those really tricky problems.
Well, so on that, so it's to the science of that. I mean, anyone watching or listening that can read really should read that book.
Why We Sleep by Dr. Matthew Walker.
Yeah, have to read
Blow
it.
your mind.
But if you, let's say you play an instrument and you're really struggling with this instrument, this particular thing, there's very little value in spending an hour trying to do it and getting it wrong. And if you do this, you'll go to sleep and you wake up in the morning, and it is not unusual that problem has disappeared.
Yeah.
And is it Faraday who was this is genius?
Thomas
Edison.
So you know Thomas Edison invented the light bulb. So he'd sleep in his chair, right, holding some like metal balls, some ball bearings in his hand with a pot underneath. Okay. Now, when you are in dream sleep, REM sleep, which is, by the way, just why we'll call it REM sleep is because when someone's dreaming, you'll see their eyes underneath their eyelids flicker really fast. Okay, so this is rapid eye movement. And so when you do that, remember your muscles you become paralyzed, right? So the minute he'd go into that dream sleep, right, his hand would open, the ball bearings would fall out, hit the pot, and he would wake up and hoping to have like this cool new
way of
idea.
thinking.
Yeah. No, it's a bit excessive, but
no, it's cool.
Sleep.
But that's it. It's that gut instinct. What with him, it was probably a bit more than that. He'd given it some serious thought, but he knew that he would be better at problem solving, and his creativity would increase if he just took himself straight out of dream sleep, and went on and invented loads of cool stuff. So something works. Yeah. He also claimed to only sleep for a few hours a night, though, which isn't
minimum
recommended.
At least for us grown, minimum 7 hours, guys. Right? The kids need more sleep, so make sure you get you sleep. Right? Yeah, well, that's dreams. But one cool fact. I should really fact check this, but your brain
spread the word.
Yeah, but your brain, I read, it can't come up with new faces, right, in dreams.
I had this conversation with my son the other day by total coincidence because he was drawing, and he was saying, "How do you do a new face?" And I was like, "It's really hard to imagine a face that you."
That you haven't actually seen. Yeah, so
he sat there trying to do it.
Yeah, so dreams, you populate your dreams with faces that you have seen. And you wouldn't even notice this person, but you've seen them.
Yeah.
So every face in there is someone you've seen at some point.
It's really hard to make up a face. That's what I was trying to do with my son. It's like, we can make one up. And in my head, I was like, no, I can't. I can give it someone I know's eyes.
They have
someone I know's
video
mouth.
game guys. They must be drawing inspiration from somewhere and then changing things. All right.
Good chat. I'm glad you were involved in that one.